Okay, these problems aren't too hard either. I'm going to be you're going to see me go to this other piece of paper. You don't need to write when I go to that, just kind of watch. Okay, a sports shop has 30 employees. 30% of the employees work part-time. How many part-time employees does a shop have? So again, I have this square here that represents 100%, okay? And the 100% is also 30 employees. Okay, well, what I'm going to do is you're going to see me split this, okay? 30%, and then I take 100 minus 30, and that's 70%. Okay, now what I want to know is how many employees the 30% is, because I know the total's 30. Okay, I need to find out how many of these employees account for 30%. I don't even care about the 70%. Okay, so all I simply do is take my percent divided by 100, because I need to do some math with it. So cross that out, just put 0.3, and then I can take 0.3 times 30, because that's the total employees I have. We can take that divided by 100 and then times by how many employees we have. So 0.3 times 30 gives me 9, okay? So there are 9 part-time employees, which makes up 30%. Okay, 20 students are inspected for a virus. If 40% of the students test positive, how many students have the virus? Okay, so this is my 100% box, and that is 20 students. So we're going to split this, okay, into 40%, and then 100 minus 40 would be 60%. And I want to know how many of the 20 students would go in this part right here, okay? How many students would be there? I don't even care about that. Okay, so again, all I do is take my percent divided by 100. My calculator works, okay? So I take 40 divided by 100. 0.4 is what your calculator says, so I write that down, and then I can just times by the 20. So 0.4 times 20 gives me 8, okay? So there are 8 students that had the virus. So again, if in this 40%, that would be 8 students, and the rest of them wouldn't have had the virus. Okay, at a boutique, 75% of the 84 beads were plastic. How many plastic beads were there? Okay, again, same thing here. This is 100%, the whole thing, okay, and that's 84 beads. So they talk about 75%, so I take 100 minus 75, and that's 25%. Okay, but I don't care about the 25%. I want to know how many of these 84 beads the 75% would be. So again, I just take my percent, 75 divided by 100. That's 0.75. My calculator is kind of weird. And then I multiply by 84. Okay. Okay, I got 63. So 63 plastic beads out of the 84 that are all together. Okay, in a class election, 20% of the students actually voted. If there were 50 students, how many actually voted? So again, I got my 100% box, and that's all 50 students. But we're going to cut that box into 2, one of which is 20%. Then 100 minus 20 is 80%. Well, I don't really care about the 80%. What I want to know is how many students is 20%. Okay, so again, I take my percent, 20 divided by 100, and that's 0.2. So I write that down. And then I'm going to multiply by how many students there were, which is 50. Okay, so 0.2 multiplied by 50, I got 10. So 10 students voted. And then the rest of the students didn't vote. Okay, Hermson spends 20% of his paycheck on house payments. If he makes $2,700 in a month, how much does he need to spend on his house payments? So this is 100% of what Hermson makes. okay, and that is $2,700. So I would cut that, so we're to 20%, then 100 minus 20 is 80%, but I don't really care about the 80% because it's all about what I spend on house payments. So I wanted to find out how much of this money is 20%, okay? So I divide my 20 by 100, and that's 0.2 again. And then I multiply by how much money there is, so times 2,700. Okay, $540 is how much I spend on my house payments. Okay, and then a bag has 20 marbles. 70% of them are blue. How many blue marbles does a bag have? So you can kind of guess how this plays out. So I've got 100%, and that is 20 marbles. 20 marbles is the total. That's 100%. And then it's split. So we have 70%, and then 100 minus 70 would be 30%, but I'm only concerned about the blue marbles, okay? So again, to find out how many marbles that is, I want to divide my 70 in the problem by 100. That's 0.7, okay? Then I'm going to multiply by 20. So 0.7 times 20 gives me 14. Okay. And that is how you find percents of total amounts.